The haunted decks of the Queen Mary. As part of our ongoing inquiry to determine whether ghosts exist, I'll wait for one of the most haunted locations on Earth, while you sleep this week on BuzzFeed. Right now, we're sitting in the Queen's Salon of the world's most haunted yacht. Remember to like and give us a thumbs up, so we can continue regularly uploading videos. I would be a little impolite if I said the Queen Mary is the spookiest boat ever. But let me introduce you to her. That's not an unfair comment, really. What do you say? Correct? It's incredible. It's incredible. This boat is apparently twice as big as the Titanic. Twice, thrice. Titanic's time. That is untrue. It is accurate. All you need to know is that I consistently stated that I wouldn't return, and yet here I am, approximately 10 years later. You don't keep your word. Well, I will admit that this sunset is stunning. Today, there's one item that gives me comfort. Is that a lovely sunset? Have fun. Ryan, you will only ever get to witness this one. Is that what you're referring to? Do you think it's still on your mind? I sincerely hope not. Following my previous visit here, how did you proceed? You'll ascertain. Do you mean that you believe Mary has a certain something? Yes, in fact. Indeed, it's possible for you to feel slightly captivated. That much is true. Yes, I believe that. Undoubtedly, there is a certain unsettling quality about the sight of something so pristine and exquisite yet devoid of any substance. I'm not sure what it is. Why does this seem uneasy to you? Many things. Having said that, let's look at this boat's history. Queen Mary set sail for her maiden trip from Southampton, England, on May 27, 1936, after completing the 1930s. With its 2 cocktail bars, 2 swimming pools, 5 dining spaces and lounges, a large ballroom, and much more, the yacht set a new standard for luxury. However, World War II converted the ship into a soldier and prisoner transport, appropriately painting it gray for the role. Especially for the war, they painted the ship gray, and due to its superior speed over opposing U-boats, they nicknamed it the Gray Ghost. You don't think Captain Gray Ghost, the legendary ghost, is a fairly badass nickname? He tells the tale in a pub. Oh, the Gray Ghost is the ship I'm on. The ship reportedly transported over 800,000 military personnel during the war. The ship reverted to Queen Mary's status in 1947. Long Beach, California purchased it in 1965 and now permanently docks it there. After establishing the ship's history, let's take a moment to reflect on my own experience with it. Lord, please, I used to tell you this story, but it was roughly 10 years ago when I did. This is really captivating. Along with a few buddies, I went to the ship when I was 17. Though I didn't think the paranormal was genuine, I was nonetheless quite curious about it. I never imagined returning to this space. My father was a ghost, and this is him. After provoking the apparition to appear, I once again failed miserably. Before 8, I returned, dissatisfied, to my hotel room in the boat cabin. Whoa, man, not a single thing has changed. It is the same thing. Which bed did you happen to be in? I was here, fast asleep. This one, on the left, is dozing off with its back to the wall. We were chatting in what appeared to be a Best Western. I slept that night. I received numerous pokes in the face, but I was too afraid to look at myself. When I finally confronted my friend Elvin, he was sleeping next to me. To my dismay, I found that he was actually sound asleep and snoring. Perhaps it felt like Elvis, I reasoned. Yes, but maybe not. I made an effort to get through it, just in case. Eventually, I dozed off, and I went to the restroom the following morning. The sight of the actual toothbrush in the footage gives me chills. My friend Casey noticed the sink turn on, so we set up a camera to try and catch that. When we used the camera to capture the incident, you can see a bag filled with toothpaste in the left corner of the footage. You'll never forget that plastic Ziploc bag here. Not voting well considering the engine, or simply looking on the incorrect side of the screen, has already happened. Yes, in that situation, there is undoubtedly a force at work. You must acknowledge that it seems unusual. But is that gravity acceptable? No, in actuality, so does everyone. Therefore, we wanted to ensure that this happens precisely when you throw your trash on the counter. Observing the bag's movement suggests constant activity. The toothpaste creates a jittery, watch-like effect. That was a really forceful move. This almost gives the impression that someone is manipulating the situation. Yes, it's a happy bag. It's possible that you didn't notice the slight throw. This toothpaste simply crumbles. It had a straight up and down trajectory, straight up and downward. The toothpaste was on the ground before it fell. I didn't think ghosts existed. I felt all of this was nonsense. I've never done it again though, because what I saw in that restroom transformed me into the guy you see today, a strong believer in ghosts and the paranormal. I also vowed not to come back to this ship. And yet I find myself sitting here, acting like a complete fool. I have repeatedly expressed my desire to witness something similar. If only I could have one such encounter with concrete evidence. Maybe tonight I'm feeling fortunate. Having stated that, let's investigate a few of the ship's active and paranormal sections. When I get back to Queen upon my return to Queen Mary, let's examine a select few of the numerous documented deaths that occurred on her, as well as the many unreported ones. Queen Mary, Edgar Brennan, passed away in 1936 after suffering a stroke in her stateroom. 1949. Senior Second Officer Williams inadvertently ingested laundry detergent from the gin bottle, nearly leading to his poisoning death. He placed the laundry detergent in a gin bottle, despite the captain's presence in his room at the time, and assured them they could perform their duties effectively today. Come to my room and have a drink. According to what I've heard, he neglected to include the acid or detergent. The pupil is causing my tongue to burn. I had better swallow it. You picture him thinking, oh shit, a minute or so after the guy leaves the room. The X's are visible. God damn it. By the way, Shane, I have a bottle of whiskey waiting for you in the room. Regrettably, the most tragic deaths occurred simultaneously. The Queen Mary served as a transport ship during World War II, as I previously mentioned. On October 2, 1942, the HMS Carousel, a much smaller ship, was escorting Queen Mary from New York to Glasgow. For the purpose of confusing any U-boats and German bombers, the Carousel was zigzagging in front of Queen Mary. However, the Queen Mary, which was speeding along at 28.5 knots, suddenly caught up to the Carousel and crashed into it, severing the HMS Carousel in half. How much larger was that Carousel 20 times its size than what smashed through it with the force of a hot butter patty? I appreciate you looking. Remember to subscribe and like our YouTube channel.